Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna start on 97B. Itmar was stated. See that? It's maybe 20 lines from the top. Is that good? Is that just wrong? Do you see that? You know how to help them find it?
I think it's right up right here. I think the last thing said was 5,000 years.
Okay. Itmar was stated, Tanya. Started in the Bryce of Nassim Naimer. Nassim says, Mikras and Nikkivan, we hear it all the time. This verse, it pierces and it goes until the depths of the topic. Because yet will come a time for the vision. The vision will come. There's yet a vision for the time. Well, yifach means to blow, but over here it means he will speak an end, and he won't lie. If he what's it called? Tarries. What's the word? Tarries. If he delays, wait for him. Because he will surely come. And he won't delay. Like Rabbi saying, so Rav Nassan is saying, don't read it like this, don't read it like that. I'll show you how to read it. Like Rabbi saying, don't read it like the sages that say, Ad Idan, Idanin, Plag Idan. Don't read it that there's a time, there's times, and there's a half a time. Now, that's referring to the way it's explained over here, is that the exile of Egypt was 400 years. That's Ad Idan. Idan means a time. Idanin would mean 2 times, mean 800 years. 400 plus 800, 1200. Plag Idan, half a time, half of 400. So it's 200. 200 plus 1200 would be 1400. So it would be 1400. Don't say that the end of times is going to be 1400 years. When do you count that? When do you start the 1400 years? Started from the Korban. I mean, 1500s is the end of the time. You started from the first destruction of the first base of Mikdash. I mean, around the time of Rashi. Anyway, like Rab Smalai, and don't translate it the way Rab Smalai says. I'll feed you bread of tears. And I will give you to drink the tears of triple tears, shalish. Anyway, what does that mean? Tashkim Shalish means that the exiles that we've had in the past, they're only 1/3 of the future exiles. We had exiles of 470 years, just 400 for Egypt and 70 for. So you have to do 470 times 3, which would be 470 times 3. 1410. It's interesting. Rashi writes over here, Kvar Avru. It's already passed. 1410 is already passed. If it's from the Korban, Rashi did not write that because it did not pass. Rashi was passed away 1105. So it's 14. This is 1500s. Okay. Anyway, whatever the case is, like Rabbi Akiva, and don't learn it like Rabbi Akiva. It's all going to be one small little bit. And I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth. Okay. So don't read it like that. Now, this is referring to that there's going to be one small kingdom that's going to come afterwards, which would be the kingdom of Bar Kokhba. That's the way Rabbi Akiva thought that right after Bar Kokhba would be Mashiach. So don't read it like that. Ella Malchus Rishon Shivim Shana. Rather, the first kingdom is 70 years. That's referring to the kingdom of the Hashmonai. That's all question in Rashi. But apparently the Hashemite kingdom was longer than that. Malchus Shnia, the second kingdom was the kingdom of Hordus, Herod, right? That was Chamishim Mishtayim, that was 52 years. Malchus ben Kuziba, Shteishan Mamechsa, and the kingdom of Ben Kuziba was 2.5 years. So that's what he wants to say. He wants to say that Mashiach's coming right after that. Is that his conclusion? What do they say in the notes? Is that his conclusion? That Mashiach's coming right after Ben Kuziba? I don't know. Okay, anyway, it says my that he's going to speak the end of time and he's not lying. I'm Rav Shmuel Bar Nachmani, I'm Rav Yenis, and Rav Shmuel Bar Nachmani says the name of Rav Yenis and Tipa Chatzman, let they suffer agony. So Machashvi teaching those people that try to figure out the end of time when's Mashiach coming. So you because they would say Kivin Shgia case that's the problem of making times, is that when the time passes, then people say, yes, he's not coming. That's why they should suffer agony, the people that make these times.
This is the third time come across the Lashon of Bach.
Yeah.
But the first time was for blowing into Adam. We just had the Gemara the other day for Rishayim. They would dry him out. So, and now you have it for the end of the day. It's a good quiz question.
Rather, you should wait for him. That if he delays, if he tarries, you should wait for him. Maybe say that we're waiting, but Hashem isn't waiting. Hashem has given up. So Talmud Leimar, that Hashem is waiting to give favor to you, and therefore He will raise you, I guess, to give you compassion. What's going on? If we're waiting and Hashem is waiting to bring Mashiach, so who's stopping us? The attribute of judgment. If the attribute of judgment is delaying, so then why are we even waiting? So the Kabbalah Schar, we're waiting because you get reward when you wait. Sounds like we're not waiting for it to happen. We're waiting for just to get a reward to wait. That's what it sounds like.
The more you anticipate something, the more it's worth. You have to wait for something.
Could it be that they're just referring to like the generation that has like an opportunity to wait for them?
Sure, it is.
But everyone waited for him. They just eventually had to go.
No, I'm asking that the Gemara makes it look that you're not really waiting for a reason. It's not happening. It's you're waiting just because you get a reward when you wait. If you wanted to say that it's happening, then it would have said, why are we waiting? We're waiting because maybe it's going to happen.
You know what? Many people wait for something and it's not happening. They give up and they say, that's never going to happen. Walk away. We're still waiting, even though it hasn't happened. So we're getting shush for not walking away. We're still believing and waiting.
Okay.
I mean, how many Jews are there and say, the Jews have waited for Mashiach for thousands of years. He's never come, so why should I wait now?
Okay.
So this is saying it's worth wait for him.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Happy as those who wait for him. Amar Abaya. The world cannot exist. There's not going to be in the world less than 36 tzaddikim that receive the presence of the Shekhinah in every generation. Every generation has to have 36. Happy are those that await him. What is the gematria loi? Loi begematria tosin v'shita avi 36. Loi lamed vav is 36. We told us before there were 45. Is that an abaya also?
Looks like it's
Where was that? Kesef L'chaimer. It was a Gula. Okay. Now, Aini, is it really so that there's 36? Lamarava, Dora the Kamikuchabrichu, Tamni Srei Alpha Yahaba. I skipped the word over there, Parsa. That there's a row in front of Hashem that has 18,000. 18,000 tzaddikim. It's not 36. Surrounding him is 18,000. It says like Kasha, you can't ask a question like that. Oh, the Mistakal Baspakalaria Meira. Those 36 we're talking about that where they look through they get able to gaze through a shining they call those
they see a clear screen. Oh, you mean the telescope?
They're not. It's not called the telescope. It's called something else. The spies use it. The pirates. That's called the telescope.
Yeah, this is binoculars. This is a telescope. Or I mean, stargazing is a giant reflective.
Okay. Have to wear a patch on one eye.
I was gonna say, I was going to show you a picture of a pirate.
The 36 are looking through one that's clear. But those 18,000, the mistake was it's not clear. It's opaque. Opaque. I mean, if you should call high, the Gemara asks that there's 36 of those that can look through a clear screen. Chizkiah says name of Rabbi Yirmiyah, name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Remember what chapter in Tanya this is? I have seen those that well above, and there's very few of them. If there's 1,000, if there's 1,000, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, me and my son Eliezer are one of them. In Mayhem, if there's 100, then we're one of we're not one of them. We're two of them. Right? And if there's only two, then it's going to be us. Which means that it's possible that there's only two. You're telling me there's 36. Like Kasha, Hadaili Bibar, Hadaili Bibar. Hence, the two they go in without permission. But the 36 they need permission. They see differently, but they still need an entrance to fun.
Isn't the first time the word aspiklari is used is by Rashi and Abraham Avinu when he's showing
maybe
he gazed in aspiklari. So that would bring it down to one. We just beat Chizkiah if that's where I faintly remember it.
Sarah is a greater than Abraham.
Behind every great man, there's a greater woman. We know that. They don't need permission. They don't even ask. They just walk right in. This is my kitchen. Get out.
Rav says, all the ends of times have already come. We're already there already. All you have to do is do tshuva, and that's it. Mashiach is already. There's nothing that we don't have to wait for anything else. Well, Shmuel says, whoa. It's enough. The mourner is suffering that he's mourning. That's enough of suffering. Now he has to do tshuva also. We already went through all of the exile. Don't even have to do tshuva. Kitanoi. So actually, this machlekes Rav and Shmuel is an earlier machlekes. Rabbi Lezer says, "In Yisrael is tshuva negalim." If the Jewish people do tshuva, then they'll be redeemed. If they don't do tshuva, then they won't be redeemed. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua says, "The main in tshuva ain't negalim. If they don't do tshuva, they won't be redeemed." If they don't do tshuva, Hashem will make them do tshuva by making a king that will have such bad decrees. They'll be like Haman. Israel will do, and the Jewish people will do tshuva. Now, this Gemara has different versions to it, and the version of the Yerushalmi is not that this is not a response of Rabbi Yeshua. This is a response of Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Yeshua holds that that Mashiach comes without tshuva. Rabbi Eliezer is saying that we have to do tshuva. He's saying that we have to do tshuva. If we don't do tshuva, what's going to happen? He says, well, you're going to do tshuva. Trust me, you're going to do tshuva. That's what's going to happen. That's Rabbi Eliezer that's saying. Anyway, that's an interesting discussion here. Who's talking? According to this Yerushalmi, comes out that according to Rabbi Eliezer, this tshuva that's happening no matter what, either willingly or unwillingly. According to Rabbi Yeshua, Mashiach comes without tshuva. Okay. There's another price that says Rabbi Eliezer Reimer in Yisrael is in tshuva negalim. Rabbi Eliezer says that the Jewish people need to do tshuva for Mashiach to come. As it says, return children, wayward children. I will heal you from your backsliding. Mishuvai seichem. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua said, you sold yourselves for nothing, and you'll be redeemed for nothing also. What do you mean you sold yourselves? The Jewish people went into exile. That's because of because they worshipped idols. That was for naught, right? And you'll be redeemed without money. That means you won't have to do tshuva. You're coming back anyway. The pasuk says, "Return to me, and I'll return to you." Yeah, it means you have to do tshuva. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua said, but there's another pasuk that says, I made myself master over you, and I've taken you. One from a city and two from a family. I'll bring you back, which means that I'm going to take you by force. It's nothing to do with you if you do tshuva or not. Amalei Rabbi Eliezer, with returning and pleasantness, you'll be saved. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yeshua says back, so says Hashem, Redeemer of Israel, this Holy One, to those that despise the soul, the Messiah of God, that the nations are disgusted with. Le'eved Moishlim, they serve the ruler. Malachim Yiru v'kamul sarim v'yisachvu. The kings will see and get up, and ministers will bow down. What do we see from this pasuk? Means that even though we're soiled with Averis, but nevertheless, we're still going to be redeemed. It was even without tshuva. Amalei Rabbi Eliezer says, like Panemer, Tashav Yisrael Num Hashem. If Yisrael returns, says Hashem, Elai Tashav, they'll return to me. Okay, Amalei Rabbi Yeshua, so that means that they're going to return. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua, they're going to do tshuva. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua says, like Panemer, Veshmas Isla Shabbat. This is from Daniel. I heard the man that's dressed in white. Asher Mimal Vadim, I think we say linen. Asher Mimal, that's the Mimei Ayar, that's above the waters of the sea, of the river. Yarim Yamina Smala, he lifts his right hand and his left hand El Shemayim. And he swears by the life of the world. For a time, times and a half. This is the Hebrew version of the pasuk, of the Aramaic version that we had before. A time, times and a half, right? That went 400, 800, and 200. and it will end Nafetz Yadam Kodesh, the stretched out hand of the holy nation. All of these will cease. What do we see from that? Yeshua is saying that there's a set time for Mashiach to come. That means that if there's a set time, that means it's not dependent on you on Tshuva. Okay, that's what he said. Shasek Rebbe Lezer. Rebbe Lezer was quiet. Rebbe Lezer accepted. It says in there's no more revealed time than this. Shenemar, Batim Hari Yisrael, and you, mountains of Israel, Anachem Titnu, give out your branches will give out a Prechem Tissa when you'll carry your fruit, Ami Yisrael, my nation Israel. Which means that before Mashiach comes, Israel is going to have good fruit. Prolific. Here's another source. It says, it says before these days, there won't be a payment for man, and there won't be a payment for animals. And for those that go and come, there won't be peace from the enemy. He says this is also a simon for Mashiach. So, what does it mean that for those that come and go, there won't be peace from the enemy? Rav says, after me, them shalom, even the Torah scholars, it says about them peace. Great peace to those that love your Torah. They won't have peace from the enemies. Now, one shot here is that there's another Gemara that says that when the Torah sages are arguing about the halacha, so it says they're arguing. It looks like they're enemies, and then at the end they make peace. So over here it's saying that it's not going to end. It's not going to have that ending of peace. It's going to keep fighting. Okay, Shmuel says until all the market prices are the same. That means the price of grain and the price of wine is going to be the same. Now that could mean that there's going to be so much plenty, so much abundance that all the prices are the same. It also could mean the opposite.
What happened with the eggs? Eggs were more expensive than beef.
Right.
Well, you know the story of the chicken and the cow. Right? They're both walking along to become korbanos, and the chicken says to the cow, he says, hey, we're equal, we're both going to be korbanos. So the cow looks at the chicken and goes, yeah, but you're just giving a donation, I'm making a commitment. I don't know if I told exactly right, but something.
Rab Chanina says, Amen, David Bachi is back Mashiach won't come until you're going to be looking for fish for a sick person, and you won't be able to find. You won't be able to find. Then I will sink, I will push down in the waters, and in their rivers will flow like oil. Because the offshore drilling, something like that. So you read that. I mean, there's something going on in there. It's going to flow like oil, which means that you won't be able to find fish because the fish die in the oil. Ksiv Basrei, remember that big fire? That wasn't a fire; it was a big oil spill. Where was that? Mexico?
In the Gulf.
Did they clear that up?
Eventually. Yeah, because it affected the whole west coast of Florida.
They were telling they
get these like long kind of like water-filled balloons, and they put the oils floating on the water, so they kind of make borders on the water, and that's how they slowly suck, and then they suck up the oil. They got a whole process.
And then they burn the rest. Okay. It says the verse right afterwards. It says, and then I will sprout a horns, which means a kingdom for the house of Israel. Amar Rav Chama bar Chanina, Rav Chama bar Chanina taught, Emin David Rosh Tichla Malchus Hazolam Yisrael. Mashiach won't come until the petty kingdom will leave from Israel. Petty, it could mean petty, it could mean like very low class. Shnema b'karas al is meres will cut off these pettiness with fears. To Basrei Beisi Yovel Shai Lashem Tzavakis. I'm a Moshe Gemara. That time, bring a present to Hashem. Hashem of hosts. What's the present? It's going to be a nation that's pulled and torn. That's going to be the present, which means the Jewish people. Amar Zeiri, Amar Rav Chanina, Zeiri says in Rav Chanina, even David Bach, Shiach's not going to come until the arrogant people leave from Israel. Then I will remove from amongst you those arrogant. And then it says, and I will leave amongst you of this poor nation, and they'll take refuge in the name of Hashem. Means that right after that, Mashiach will come. Amar Rav Shmuelai, Mishum Rav Elazar bar Shimon. Rav Shmuelai says, "Name Rav Elazar bar Shimon, Name Dav Mashiach Kol Sheitim V'Sheitim Yisrael." Until all the judges and police leave from Israel. Apparently, these were not good people, right? But the bad judges, bad police. Number Vashiva Yadei Alecha ve'etzef Kubar Sigaya Sigacha. Vashiva Shevtaya. It's probably Shevtaya. Sigaya, is it Sigaya or Sigaya? Shiva Shakaya. So I will return my hand over you, and I will cleanse you like soap from the dross, the impurities in the metal, and I will return your judges. Amar Ula. Ula says, "Ein Yerushalayim niftes ela b'tzedakah." Jerusalem will only be redeemed with charity. With judgment will be redeemed, and it's captive with tzedakah. Why did we say Yerushalayim? Sorry? There's other sources for that, but the verse is a source. Yeah, the verse would be the source. I would have thought it would say Mishpat. It says Ein Yerushalayim Niftis Ela B'Tzedakah, and then it says it's supposed to be Shaveha B'Tzedakah. The captives are redeemed with tzedakah, not Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is redeemed with mishpat. No? What did they comment on that?
This is used for the Rambam.
Sorry?
It's the Rambam uses it.
Rambam uses a different text.
That text.
No, that's not my question. 1 second.
What's your question?
The Gemara says, Ula says, Yerushalayim will not be redeemed except through charity. Post a verse, Zion shall be redeemed through justice, and her returnees through charity. It's not Yerushalayim, it's the returnees of charity. Zion, which is Jerusalem, should be with judgment, with justice. 27, let's see. Mashar raises the following difficulty. The verse states that Zion, Jerusalem itself, with justice. Only its returnees. Okay, good. How then can the Gemara infer from it that Jerusalem itself will be doing with charity? See Mashar for a solution to the difficulty. This problem does not arise according to text quoted in 25. Oh, if it says Yisrael instead of Yerushalayim, that's what you wanted to tell me. Rambam's text is that not Jerusalem, but Yisrael, the Jewish people. That's referring to Shaveh. Okay, very good. I didn't realize that's what you were saying. Follow, you do a little whiteout and it solved a lot of problems. The different texts. They had the story with Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. Remember Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky? So the story was that he he would give a shiur and he would ask like these very difficult questions and he would resolve them by showing a different version from a manuscript that would change the text and that would the Bachim didn't they didn't like that. They wanted like, there's two dinim here. Anyway, one day he shows up and he says, he gives the shiur like exactly what the Bachim wanted. They said, you changed the Derech Halimon. So he says, no, I just didn't have time to prepare. Okay. Amar Papa says, when the arrogant people will be disappear, then Amgushi will also disappear. Amgushi has two interpretations. Amgushi could mean magicians, magician, or it could also be people that worship idols of some sort. Yeah, blasphemers. When the judges go away, then Batli Gazir Fati, then also the police will go away. Because they're talking about bad police. Ibatli or about them Gush. What does it mean when the arrogant people go away? Also, them Gush will go away. I will cleanse you. I will cleanse like with soap, the dross. Masir Kol B'dilayach. And I will remove all the tin. The deal is like lead or tin. A furnace is lead. The deal is tin. So, kabar. It's interesting because kabar is talking about. Oh no, kabar sigaya, like soap sigaya, the dross, because the Aramaic word for much is sagi.
What?
For much, for a lot. Sagi. So the arrogant is called the sagi because they're so puffed up.
Which sagi norm?
Sagi means a lot of light. Sagi knows a lot of light. So sagi means much. I tell my students, how do you know sagi means much? Because if something gets very soggy, it has enough water in it. Okay, so anyway, so I'll cleanse the sagi away, right? And then what's going to go away? B'dilayach. The bedil means separated. The which are the who is this? Gushi. Yeah. The material is tin, but a play on the word is bedil means havdalah. Hashem will remove the judgment and the enemies will go away. I'm Rabbi Yochanan, see a generation that's becoming impoverished. Stop. Wait for Mashiach. There's a recession. Mashiach's coming. Shenemar. Poor nation Hashem saves. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, see a lot of suffering coming like a river. You should wait for Mashiach. Remember, Kiyavi Kanar, Sa'ar Ruach Hashem, nice sabai. Will come like a river, suffering, and the Ruach Hashem will be devouring. Samachle, and right afterwards, this is in Yeshaya, says, Volati and Gael, and the Redeemer will come to Zion. Rabbi Yochanan says in David Ba, Mashiach's only coming in a generation that's totally righteous or totally guilty. What does it mean? Totally righteous. Your nation is a nation of righteous, and they will inherit the earth. The generation that's guilty, it says he saw that there was no man, and he was shocked that there was no one davening. He says, I will do it for myself. Hashem will save everyone for himself. That means even though there's no one there to save, Hashem will still save. Yeah, I knew this guy that was saying, Mashiach's not coming with the mitzvahs. We have to go the other way.
He was kidding.
I'm not 100% sure he was kidding. Okay. Amar Alexandri, Rabbi Shua ben Levi Rami. Shua ben Levi posed a contradiction. Siv B'ita, says in its time. It says, I will hasten. In its time, I will hasten. One second. Says, is it in its time or is it hasten or is it quicker? Zachu, the Gemara answers. If they merit it, then Achishana, then it will be hasten. Loi Zachu. If you don't merit, these will come in its time. I'm Rabbi Alexandria. Alexandria also says, Reb Shua ben Levi Rami. Reb Shua ben Levi posts a contradiction. One pasuk says, behold, with the clouds of the heaven, like a man he comes. Like the Son of Man he comes. It also says, a poor man riding on a donkey. So what's going on? Is he coming on a cloud in heaven or is he coming on a donkey? I would have said when the cloud lands at the airport, he's got to ride a donkey into town. Huh? Brahm's donkey. Same donkey, right? The Moshe used that Adra, right? No, but I would have answered that it's like you have to travel in two ways. You got to get there by plane, and then you have to take an Uber. Okay, so the Gemara answers a little differently. The Gemara says, if they married him, Manan Ishmael is going to come on a plane with the cloud on the plane. If they don't marry, Ani Reich Valachmar is going to come on a donkey. Amalei Shvar Markel Shmuel. Shvar Markel said to Shmuel, "I'm Risa Mashiach Al Chamrasi." He said that you guys say Mashiach's coming on a donkey. Ishtale Susir Barka this day. I have a horse for him. I'll send him my finest horse, Barka. That's not its name. His name isn't Barka. His name is Betsy. Okay. Barka means like a flash or some sort. It's his best horse. Amalei, Yisli Bar Chiver Gavni, do you have one that Chiver means white, but apparently in Persian it means 100. It says, do you have one that has 100 different colors? Anyway, he was just trying to push him off. He says, okay, do you have a very good horse that has 100 different colors? We'll take it.
Wasn't there another place somewhere in the Torah mentioning a horse in a lot of colors? It existed.
There's the
no, not the unicorn.
There's the one in the Tachash.
What?
The Tachash.
Well, that was just a special animal.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a horse that was multicolored. Also mentioned.
I don't know.
Coming to my mind.
Rabbi Shua ben Levi Ashkach Le'Elio that became a Pisca de Marta the Reb Shimon on your fight. Shua ben Levi he found Elio that was standing at the entrance of the cave of Reb Shimon Yochai. He's standing there in Miron. Amalei, he says to Elio, he says, Asina Lal Madasi, am I going to the world to come? Amalei, it says if that's like Ymirta Hashem. If this master wants, apparently the Shechina was there. Says if the master wants, yeah, then you're going. I'm Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Shnayim Risi called Gimel Shamati. I heard the voice of 3 people in that conversation. I only saw 2, which means that the Shechina was there. Amalei, he says, Eimas Asa Mashiach. When is Mashiach coming? Amalei still shyly lididei. Why don't you go ask him yourself? Go, you go ask him. Where is he sitting? The Pisca de Karta. At the entrance of the city. The Groz Gersa is Deraimi, Karta Deraimi, entrance of the gates of Rome. That's the way everyone says it over. I guess because they're accepting the Groz. Right? Maybe there's a manuscript. Okay. My Simani, how do I know who he is? Yosef Beniani saved the Chalan. He's sitting amongst the poor and he has a lot of bruises. All the people over there, they're opening all their bandages and then they close them up at one time. In other words, if they have a lot of bruises, they have to put on creams or whatever. They have to open them all up, and then they put on the creams and they close them all. They rebandage them. However, this person, but him, he does one at a time. Why does he do one at a time? That's not so efficient. Maybe they're going to want me. I don't want to delay. I I want to be able to go right away. So it's easier to close up one cruise than to close up the whole thing. So also like Abe, he goes to him, he goes to Rome. Amalei Shalom Malach Rabbi Amar says, peace unto you, my teacher, my master. Amalei Shalom Malach Bar Levi, peace unto you, son of Levi. Rabbi Shua ben Levi. So he knows who he is. Pretty cool. He says, how did he know my name? Amalei Lemas Asimar. He says, when is the master coming? Amalei Hayai. He says, I'm coming today. Comes to Elio, says, what did Mashiach tell you? By the way, he told me, peace unto you, son of Levi. You're guaranteed the world to come. Now you're in. Before I said Mirza Hashem, Mirza Adanazeh. But now I see that you're in. Why? Because he knows your name. It must be that he knows that you're in. Amalei Shikurin Kashakabi. But he's a lie, he lied to me. He says he's coming today. He didn't even come. What he meant to tell you was Hayayim and Mikhail Tishmo. He's coming today if you listen to his voice. The students asked Rabbi Ben Kisma, when is Mashiach coming? Amar said, I'm not telling you. Because if you tell me, if I tell you, then you're going to ask me for, prove it, give me a sign that that's really happening. I don't want you to ask me for a sign. Don't worry, we're not going to ask you for a sign. When this gate falls and then it's rebuilt, and then falls again, and he builds it up, and it falls again. They must speak of a nice David. You won't be able to rebuild it till Mashiach comes. Well, what is this gate? Rashi says it's the gates of Rome. They said, Rabbeinu ten lanois, give us a sign. He says, you told me you're not going to ask. We still want it. We still want it. If that's the case, that's I give you another sign, another simon. Yapful May Maris Pamayas Ladam. The river Pamayas will turn to blood. And it actually turned to blood. Does that mean that it actually happened right then? That it turns to blood right then? Is that what they're saying? Just B'tirase, when Rabbi Ben Kisma was passing away, Amalem, Amikuli Areni, take my coffin in deep into the ground. Chain called back the bubble. Chain Sushsel Parsium Nikshavite. What's going to happen is the Persians are going to come in over here, and they're going to have so many horses to take over Babylonia that they're going to tie their horses to every palm tree. There won't be any coffins in Israel that the horses aren't being used to eat as if it's a crop. So they're going to use coffins to feed the animals. That's how many animals are going to come. He says, I want to go in deep so they don't. Okay, let's leave it over here. But Amar.